ChatGPT is about to undergo its biggest transformation yet, and OpenAI's keeping most of it under wraps. While everyone's been focused on faster models and better outputs, the company has been quietly rebuilding ChatGPT from the ground up. We're talking a complete overhaul of everything from how you start a conversation to how you organize your chats, manage files, and access advanced features. This isn't just a fresh coat of paint. OpenAI executives have confirmed that this redesign addresses some of the most common complaints users have voiced for months. The interface feels cluttered, finding old conversations is a nightmare, and switching between different tools and models requires too many clicks. The new version is supposed to streamline all of that. Here's what's wild. More than 200 million people use ChatGPT every single week. That's more active users than Twitter, TikTok, and Discord combined, at least at launch. And all of them are about to experience a completely different product. Some will love it, others will hate it, but everyone's going to have to relearn how to use the tool they've built their workflows around. The timeline is tight too. OpenAI isn't just teasing this in some distant future. The rollout is happening soon, and we're going to walk through exactly what's changing, how it works, and what it means for everyone from students to enterprises. This could be the moment that either makes ChatGPT even more dominant or finally gives competitors a real opening. And here's where it gets interesting. To understand why this overhaul matters so much, you need to understand what ChatGPT actually is. When it launched in November 2022, less than 4 years ago, most people had never interacted with an AI chatbot before. ChatGPT changed that overnight. Within 2 months, it hit 100 million users. No app in history reached that milestone that fast. The reason was simple. The interface was approachable. You didn't need to understand machine learning or prompt engineering. You just opened a browser, typed in your question, and got an answer. It felt like texting a smart friend. Everyone from teenagers to CEOs started using it. But here's the catch. The product that made ChatGPT famous is actually a limitation. That simple chat interface works great for one-off questions. But once you start depending on ChatGPT for real work, organizing research, managing projects, saving important conversations, the cracks show. You're left with a long list of chats in the sidebar with vague names like untitled. Finding that conversation you need from 3 weeks ago feels like searching through your email inbox with no search function. Users have been vocal about this. Teachers complain about managing student conversations. Researchers struggle to organize experiments and data. Freelancers can't efficiently reuse previous work. The interface that made ChatGPT accessible now feels like it's holding the product back. That's the problem OpenAI is trying to solve. And according to what's been reported, they're thinking bigger than just a cosmetic fix. This is about redesigning ChatGPT to work more like a real workspace, something you don't just visit for quick answers, but something you actually work in all day. But here's the kicker. So what's actually changing? The details are still coming out, but here's what's being reported. The conversation list is being completely reorganized. Instead of a simple sidebar where everything looks the same, you're going to get something closer to a workspace view. Imagine if Gmail suddenly gave you folders and better search instead of just a chronological list. That's the scale of what we are talking about. The main chat area is getting wider and more flexible. New interface apparently gives you more space to work, which means longer conversations, better visibility of code blocks, and easier reading of formatted content. Right now, ChatGPT feels cramped. The redesign fixes that. The really interesting changes are in how you access different models. Right now, if you want to use GPT-4, you have to hunt for settings menus. The new design puts model selection front and center. You'll switch between GPT-4, GPT 3.5, or future models without diving into menus. That's huge for power users. File management is also getting an overhaul. Currently, uploading files to ChatGPT is clunky. The new version makes file uploads feel more natural, closer to how Google Drive handles files. You might be able to organize files into projects and pull them into conversations more easily. And there's talk of better conversation organization features, maybe tags, maybe folders. But the core idea is the same. Make ChatGPT feel less like a chat app and more like a genuine workspace you work in for hours at a time. Here's where it gets complicated. Let me paint a picture of what this actually looks like in practice. You're a content creator working on a video script. Right now, here's your workflow. You open ChatGPT, start a new chat, paste in your outline, get feedback, then in a separate conversation ask for specific edits. Back and forth all day. With the new interface, your workflow becomes completely different. You open ChatGPT and see a workspace. On the left, your projects are organized, maybe one for video scripts, one for social media, one for research. You click into the video scripts project and see all your related conversations and files in one place. You pull up the script outline, start a conversation about it, and your file is right there in context. When you get feedback, you update the file directly. Here's another scenario. You're a researcher analyzing data. You upload a CSV file with results. Instead of the file sitting somewhere, it's part of a project. You can create multiple conversations within that project, each analyzing different angles of the same data. Later, when you need to reference an analysis from last month, instead of scrolling through chats, titled untitled, you click the project and all conversations are right there. For a business analyst, imagine building multiple reports from the same data, keeping everything organized by client or project, and pulling insights from previous analyses without losing context. The speed difference is profound. What takes 5 minutes of clicking today takes 30 seconds tomorrow. If you're using ChatGPT for hours daily, that's hours of your life freed up every week. But here's what the headlines aren't telling you. So how does this stack up against what ChatGPT currently offers? Think of it this way. Today's ChatGPT is like a really smart text editor. You type, it responds. It's clean, it's simple, it works. But it's not designed for ongoing work. The new ChatGPT is more like an actual IDE, an integrated development environment. If that sounds like jargon, think of it as a complete workspace where all your tools and files live together. A developer uses an IDE to write code, test it, debug it, and collaborate with teammates all in one place. The new ChatGPT is trying to become that for AI work. Compare it to competitors, and the picture gets more interesting. Claude, which is Anthropic's AI assistant, already has some workspace-like features. It handles document uploads well and can manage complex projects within a single conversation. But even Claude doesn't have the kind of persistent, organized project structure that OpenAI is reportedly building. Google's Gemini Pro is still mostly a chat interface. Microsoft's Copilot is scattered across different products. Here's the thing, ChatGPT's strength has always been its simplicity. Most people didn't choose it because it was the smartest. They chose it because it was the easiest to use. This redesign doubles down on that advantage. It keeps the simplicity for quick questions, but adds power for serious work. But simplicity is a double-edged sword. If OpenAI makes this new interface too complicated, users might get overwhelmed. And that's where the competition gets its chance. If someone does workspaces better, they could finally dent ChatGPT's dominance. And here's the twist nobody expected. The bigger picture is that OpenAI is trying to lock you in even deeper. Right now, ChatGPT works great for quick tasks. But if ChatGPT becomes your actual workspace, the place where you store projects, organize files, build knowledge, then switching to a competitor becomes painful. You've built your entire workflow around it. This is what Microsoft did with Office. Once your files, preferences, and organization all live in one platform. Leaving isn't easy. Here's the implication for regular users. This is great. If you use ChatGPT seriously, this redesign probably makes your life demonstrably better. Faster, less friction, better organization. For someone using ChatGPT for hours a day, this could legitimately save weeks of time over a year. But here's the implication for the AI industry. This is a power move. OpenAI has 70% market share of AI assistant usage. They are the default choice, and they're using this redesign to become even harder to displace. They're turning ChatGPT from a tool you use into a workspace you live in. What does this mean for you? First, think about your ChatGPT workflow. What projects would benefit from better organization? What would you do differently if switching to another AI was painless? That question shows you what OpenAI is after. Second, watch how competitors respond. This move will force Claude, Gemini, and others to build better workspace features too. This redesign might spark a new round of competition that benefits everyone. And here's what nobody predicted. When this redesign launches, expect weeks, possibly days. Here's what to expect. Your first experience will probably be a prompt to explore the new interface. OpenAI usually does a gentle rollout, so you might not see it all at once. When it's your turn, the first thing you'll notice is the new sidebar on the left. Instead of a simple list of chats, you'll see options to create projects. Click that, name it, video scripts, work research, whatever, and you'll create a conversation within that project. Talk to ChatGPT like normal. The difference, your conversation is now tagged to that project. Next, upload a file. You'll see a new file upload button. Upload a document, CSV, PDF, whatever. Notice how it's persistent, it stays in your project. Reference it in your conversation. The file doesn't disappear after one use. Then experiment with model switching. You'll see GPT-4, GPT 3.5, and other available models listed at the top of the interface. Click to switch. This used to require digging into settings. Pro tip, once you've got a project set up, create multiple conversations within it. Use one for brainstorming, one for analysis, one for polishing. Each has full context of the others. The learning curve is minimal. If you can use current ChatGPT, you can use the new version. The interface is intuitive. The power is in the organization, not complexity. Start thinking now about how you'd organize your work. This is where the real story starts. Here's what this redesign actually means. OpenAI is betting that AI assistants are about to change from a novelty you experiment with to a serious tool you depend on professionally. ChatGPT isn't going to be something you open when you think of a question. It's going to be something you live in while you work. And that's a smart bet. The trend is clear. Every major software company, Google, Microsoft, Adobe, they're all racing to embed AI deeper into their core products. ChatGPT itself went from a weird side project to 200 million weekly active users in less than 4 years. That's not a novelty curve anymore. That's mainstream adoption. This redesign is OpenAI saying, we know you're going to be using us for everything from now on. Let's make sure the experience is professional enough that you feel comfortable making us your main tool. For you, there are 3 things to do right now. First, think about your workflow. How much time do you spend copying and pasting between tools, switching windows, managing files? That's what this redesign eliminates. Second, keep an eye on your competitors. Claude, Gemini, Copilot, they'll all respond to this move. And third, start documenting your most valuable ChatGPT conversations. Some might be perfect for projects once this launches. This redesign isn't just cosmetic. It's OpenAI doubling down on dominance. And if they execute it right, it could genuinely be the moment AI tools transform from assistants you consult into partners you can't live without. Follow for daily AI news. Subscribe to stay updated on what happens when this launches. Thanks for watching.